Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the OA podcast where we have a lot of opinions, but most of them are pretty average. I'm Monica.
And I'm Anna. Well, Mon, with the economy moving the way it's been, and people and tripping out over recessions, unemployment, and all of that kind of stuff, not great stuff. I feel like we've just been talking over and over again about saving money and being more conscious about what we've been spending lately.
Yeah, actually, we came across a segment. I think it's a news segment actually,
Mhm.
about some ways women in specifically,
Specifically,
uh,
yeah.
are changing their spending habits. And, we thought it'd be an interesting topic to discuss, especially since our last episode was about, buying bags and
Yeah,
whatnot. So,
yeah, yeah. So moving
yeah,
in a
changing.
different direction.
How to not spend money.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it listed like four main ones, like in the beginning.
Mhm.
One of them I thought was funny. They didn't really go into it, but they talked about how women are being more mindful about like going to less therapy.
Yeah. So a lot of it is like self-care stuff, right? I think it's
Yes.
just like a lot of
But
it is
wouldn't you want to go to more therapy?
yeah, yeah. I don't think that so that's actually one that I watched it again today, and that was one,
Yeah.
and they were kind of like thinking about that and be like, that's probably not something that you should, not
Stop
do, like
doing. Do less of.
especially during this time where it's very stressful, right? Like we talk about
Yeah.
it all the time, and there's a lot of like all this, I don't know why, but like I guess I'm like not freaked out, but very conscious of it. But my YouTube feed and like my For You page on Instagram is like all about like what to do when a recession is coming, or like how to prepare
Mm.
yourself for like unemployment or whatever. But like
Uh-oh.
it's a very stressful time, and I don't think that people should stop going to therapy. I think that that's actually really, really important, but I understand that it does cost a lot of money. Like not
Yeah.
all people, like it's not always covered by insurance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, which is dumb. But
Yes.
yeah, I agree. Don't lessen the therapy
Yeah. If you
if you're
can, I
if
guess.
you can.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I just thought that was interesting. But the other three um areas where women are apparently spending less money, and this is all based on the news segments like internet search, I think.
Mhm.
Chat
Right, right.
GPT,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Whatever.
Mhm.
They mention that women do account for 60% of, I guess, buyers of general merchandise. So,
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
clothes, shoes,
Right, right.
bags,
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know if that's a good stat for,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
women, but I get it. I get it. Do you think like you count towards that 60% of
I mean,
women?
I don't know. I think I've really changed like this year. I mean, we've talked about it like over and over about how like, just like overconsumption, and the big thing right now is like, what is it? De-influencing, rather than like, that those are the popular things right now. I saw this other article, which is totally not like different. You know how like years ago during COVID, there was all those like luxury vloggers, I guess, that would,
Oh,
always like talk about like their lifestyle, and like all the bags that they had, and all the fancy trips that they went on, and like just all this stuff. And apparently a lot of those vloggers, it's like moving in the other direction in terms of like the popularity, and stuff like, I'm selling all my stuff, or I'm buying everything secondhand now. And like I feel like there's this movement in our country, because of the way the economy is right now, to just really try and like save as much as you can and be prepared and all that. So going back to the article that we talked to, so Mon, the first thing that they talked about besides the therapy is like doing your own manis and pedis. So
mm.
is that something that so for those of you that don't do it, or maybe guys that don't do it as regularly and aren't well versed on the cost, manis and pedis are expensive.
Yeah.
right? So that's something that people are cutting back on.
Right. And I honestly, before I met Anna, I didn't really do any of these mani pedi type things.
Oh
So I can blame her. I'm just kidding.
no. Bad
No, I
influence.
she did treat me to like some
Oh
to one
yeah,
of
you're
my first
yeah,
mani-pedi
yeah.
experiences. I just have like a thing about people touching my feet, and it's just like
That's definitely a thing.
it's a
Yeah.
thing. I knew going into it, it was gonna be kind of pricey, and I think that's partially why I don't do them.
Mhm.
Um, but I think like the salon that you took me to, it was like a pretty decently priced
Yeah, yeah.
experience.
Mhm.
But I believe the mani pedi situation I got, what was it, like
Around $50, yeah,
$50
which is
plus
very
tip?
reasonable. Yeah, yeah, it was very reasonable. So, I think for me particularly, I only do petties. Like, I think
Mm,
you always I think, like, are it was always my thing ever since we moved up here where it's warmer and you pretty much wear sandals and, like,
mm,
flip-flops and that type of situation the entire summer. Like, I always feel like if you're doing that, you should have, like, nice looking toes. So I think that,
mm,
a nice pedicure is nice to have like during the summer months when you're always wearing sandals and, slippers and stuff like that. I'm not a mani person. Like I never do that just because it's just something that I'm not really like accustomed to. But I think what they're talking about here are like, the women that have like the really nice, like fancy long
mm,
nails, and there's like a lot of like it's nail art too, right? It's just like it's a
mm,
whole like thing. And I think those things run up to like several $100s.
mm-hmm.
I've never done anything like that before.
Because you do gel, right? You
Yeah,
do
I do
always
gel.
do
Yeah.
gel
Hmm.
manicures. Because there's, for those who don't know, there's, regular nail polish
Hmm.
manicures, and then there's gel polish manicures. And gel polish is a little bit more robust. It's longer lasting, and
Right.
it really like strengthens your nails and all of
Hmm.
that stuff. But it does cost like a little bit more.
Yes.
Um, and ironically, like having been before not really into like mani pedis. I'm still not into pedis for the feet or whatever, but I've actually been more into doing my nails ever since like,
Hmm.
you introduced me to the nail experience. I like how they look.
I do
Um,
too.
but I get it. I wouldn't want to pay uh, $50. I think people go like every 2 or 3 weeks to get them
Yeah, yeah.
redone, or at the baseline, like get a fill or
Refilled?
whatever.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
yeah, get them filled. That's what it's
Yeah,
called. Yeah.
and that's a lot. Plus tip, of course, because you want to tip like
Yeah.
the person who's doing
Hmm.
your nails, and that can easily rack up to like 60, $70,
Right,
depending
right.
on how simple or fancy your manicure wants to
Hmm.
be. So funny is that after that, although I don't go to the salon anymore, I do like actually doing my own manicures now. And I've also invested in doing my gel manicures.
Hmm.
And I will say, if you're gonna be doing them from home, it is not cheap.
Really?
Well, I mean, if you want to go the most basic of gels, where like literally it's just like base coat, top coat, and the color,
I don't even know all this.
like that's all the stuff to make sure that stuff stays on your nails.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
I'm doing a gang sign. Sorry,
yeah.
hold on.
So you have to like invest in the tools for one. It's like
Yeah,
one of those
you
things where it's just like you start making coffee at home or you start pulling your own espresso, but you have to have
right,
the really nice machine
exactly,
at first and then it pays itself off as you move forward, right? That's
right.
that's the kind of situation. I think in the long run, I'm sure you take a really long time to go through like a bottle of like top coat or whatever color or
Unless you're
whatever,
like
right?
me and you obsessed over different colors and want different color options. So it's like, oh, I want to do this and that, and like, oh, let's admit, like, how fast are you gonna go through a bottle of nail
Right,
polish,
right.
And but I think for people who don't go to salons and would rather do their nails at home, they're opting
Mhm.
for more like press on nails.
Yes, so
So
that's what I was
not
thinking.
actually doing
Yeah,
the manicure
so
yourself, but just
press-ons are back,
literally.
man. Press-ons are back.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, some of the press-ons, I don't know if you've seen them, they look really nice.
Yeah, I've always wanted to try, like, you go to Target and go to their, like,
Mm-mm.
Ulta section or whatever, and they have really nice, like, I don't know if they're called are they called press-on nails? That's what I feel like we
Mm-hmm.
used to call them, like, in the 90s or whatever, where they were kind
They're
of
still
not
press-ons, yeah.
great, but now they're super
The
nice.
quality is nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Ooh,
And
maybe
as
I
long
do
as you
wanna
have like
try
a really
it.
good glue,
Mhm.
but those things can last for like at least like 2 weeks, if not like three. So,
Nice.
definitely you would save because those manicures are like what, 13, $14. Maybe really
Yeah, for,
nice
like
ones is like
yeah,
20.
yeah. Right, right.
And if you take care of them well, you can save them and reuse them later.
Oh, okay, maybe I need to try that. I mean, I'm not like I said, like, I'm not a manicure person, and I think it stems from the fact as, I've shared before, like, I used to be a florist, like a wedding florist, and,
Mm,
that's definitely, like, your
push
hands
on the
and,
nails. Yeah.
really hard and, kinda dirty with the flowers and all that stuff, so it was never, like, really a thing for me, so I never really got, manicures, but I definitely think it's so pretty when you see it when people have really nice manicures. My mom is actually one of those old school people that like got her nails done like every 2 to 3
Oh,
weeks growing up. It was like a whole thing for her, like a mani-pedi thing. Like, yeah,
right. It's
very,
like a
very cool.
little spa session, a
Yeah,
self-care
yeah,
thing.
self-care, self-care.
And this is just a more affordable way of self-care. You
Yeah,
can still
yeah.
have nice nails. I mean, honestly, I'm thinking about just making my own press-on nails with all the stuff that I have. I might as well just
Wow.
buy the fake nails and then just
Uh-huh.
paint on them myself.
That's true. That's true, like bare ones, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
that's
I
interesting.
mean, it's definitely, it makes sense for why women are changing from going to
Yeah.
the salons
Mhm.
on a weekly, bi-weekly basis and taking care of it at home to save a couple
Yes.
bucks.
Yeah. I mean, as we know, like when we get into these tough times, like what are they like the difference between like wants and needs? Like you need
Mm,
to eat every day, you need a roof over your head, you need electricity and all that kind of stuff.
right.
Nice nails. And going into the next thing is like people like doing their own hair, dyeing their own hair and giving their own haircuts. It's not a necessity. So those are the
Mm,
first things that kind of suffer, I guess.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
mean, even for like hair, right? You also go
Mhm.
to the salon for
Yeah.
like doing your hair.
Mhm.
I personally have not been to a salon in a really long time, ever since like COVID. So I've kind of just been trying to cut my own hair so I can
Yes.
save a couple bucks.
Yes. Guys, this
Um,
girl cuts her own hair, and if you ever see her in person, she has amazing, like, layered hair that,
I got
like,
a lot
she
of hair to
cuts.
work with. There's a
Yes,
lot
she
of
has a lot
leeway there.
yes, she's got great hair, great, like, thick head of hair, and it's layered, and she does it herself.
Yes.
So that kind
It
of blows my mind. So, Mon, tell us, like, where
we
did you learn how to do that yourself?
looked it up on
You
YouTube.
too.
I learned it up on YouTube
Mhm.
and I just watched like a couple of videos of people who do their own hair at home and it's like, yeah, if you want just simple layers or whatever. Granted it does take forever. My arms hurt cuz I'm literally just like doing arm
And
raises
you're
to
getting a
get this
workout
layer.
on top of it.
God, my arms are so spent by the time that I'm done with
Mhm,
my hair. But, it's worth it because for me, I think just for like a trim, I think $20, $30 and then plus tip or whatever.
mhm.
So it's like, I don't want to go into the salon
Yeah.
and like spend that much for just like, what, an inch
Well,
trim or something?
I'd like to say that Mon, I know is you're very frugal, right? You're a very frugal
Mm
person. So
hmm.
I think that when I in my youth, when I was younger
Mm hmm. My
or
youth.
whatever, I used to do like balayages. I don't know
Hey,
like if you guys know what those are, but it's basically just like I don't even know how to say it, but
I've
it's just like
always wanted one.
yeah, you gotta do it. I feel like you should do it at
Ugh.
least once. But you guys, it is so
How
freaking
much was it when you went?
this was like before we moved up here. So it was at
Mm.
least 8 years ago. It was like $300 plus tip. Yeah,
Okay.
for and so that's a thing, right? So it's basically like a hair treatment. It's basically coloring your hair, right? Bottom line is you're coloring your hair. They're doing it a certain style, but I swear, $300. The last when I moved up here to Sac, we did. I did it one more time before I just dyed my hair black all the time, which I feel like I like better now because I feel like it's like something like someone younger would do. So I'm gonna push you to do it while you're still young, but like it's you have to maintain it. Who could spend like $300 every like 2 months on like hair? Like my friend, I have friends that do it still. And I actually have this one girl that I went to high school with who pretty well-known hairstylist in the Bay Area. And I heard for her like a cut in a color minimum is like $400. And
Mm-hmm.
like
Do you know
she's
they
like
base it on like
the
uh
reputation of the stylist.
that
Uh-huh.
plus how much product they have to estimate to
Oh,
use?
okay.
And I mean, depending on like if you're going from like dark or like if you're a blonde
Right,
originally and you're
right.
changing color, they have to
Yeah.
spend like more time treating
More.
it to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to a point. Because if you
Mhm.
have really dark hair like mine, they have to
Strip your
chemically
color.
lighten it
Yeah. Mhm.
and then apply the color that you want. So it's like
Yes.
I did at most like highlights or lowlights. I don't even know what you call it.
Mhm.
It was barely there. I remember going to the salon and doing it, and I couldn't commit to like blonde. So I
Mhm.
was like, ooh, just like a little lighter shade of brown.
Yeah, yeah.
And one of the salon people, she wasn't the one doing my hair, but she walked up to me after. She's like, "What? Why did you go that dark? Like no one can see it. What's the point?" And I'm like, "I'm a
Yeah.
paying customer, okay?"
Yeah, yeah. No, so the
But
thing, yes, for those that don't know, it is like they have to strip it first and then put the color in. So it's a huge process. So,
At least the salon place that I went to, they were like, "Ooh, because you got a lot of hair,
mhm.
well, you got to use a lot of product." And I'm like, "I get it."
Great. Yeah,
And then
yeah.
after that, I'm like, "Man, if I paid this much for a highlight, I can't
Yeah.
imagine for a balayage." And then I mean, I get it. There's like people who want to invest in that, and that's what they
Yeah,
want to spend their
it's
money on.
definitely like it's nice. I mean, like it makes you feel good. It,
Yeah,
builds confidence and all that kind of stuff. I think it's definitely like if you can do it and it makes you feel good and you have the money, like by all
sure,
means, go for it.
why
But
not?
yeah, I think for me, it was the maintenance was getting really, really expensive and
Right.
all very healthy for your hair, I think.
Mm.
And
I
my
think that's
hair
why I
just
also stray away from it.
yeah, yeah, your hair just like dries out really quickly when you're stripping away the color that you're
Mm.
basically killing your hair, right? So I
Right.
think after some time it was just like my hair was so fried from the chemicals that I was just like, you know what? Let's just like it looks healthier black and we could grow it
Yeah.
out and stuff like that. But it's definitely like something that people are it's very expensive. People are dyeing their hair, their roots, their grays or whatever at home, and I even see now that there's all these like fancy salon brands that will like you can have like subscription services to them.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So like you can do that. So it's definitely something that it's just like the hair. I mean, I'm sorry, it's just like the nails, and it's something that like you could dedefinitely learn to do yourself.
Right, 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 right. I mean, maybe not a balayage. I mean, maybe you
Yeah,
could.
no, not a ball. Please don't do that on your own.
Can you imagine? After my
Please.
haircut,
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
I
Please
mean, I was
don't do
spending the
that.
whole day at my own
Yes.
mini
Yeah.
DIY salon.
Yes, yes. Well, I don't know, Mon. You figured out how to do like gel manicure, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
put it past you to learn how to do a balayage. But for those of you listening, please don't. I don't want to get sued
No,
for
I
a bad
advise against
balayage.
it. Do not do what I do.
Yes.
Definitely, maybe,
Mhm.
at once, maybe I'll try it. But
Mhm.
I just don't want to damage my hair.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I feel
It's a
like
thing.
it's a probably be a later on experience or something. Or when I cut my hair really short so it doesn't look
Yeah.
as
So it's not as expensive because it's shorter, right?
yeah. But like moving on from hair and nails, I mean, obviously makeup goes along the lines
Mhm.
of like makeup and skincare go along the same lines. Skincare by itself can get pretty pricey. And then if your skin's not doing so hot, even after the
Mhm.
skincare, you have to invest in some decent makeup.
To cover
Yeah,
that up.
I need some concealer to
Yeah.
cover up these dark circles or whatever. if you've ever seen like those memes of like women who go to like Sephora or Ulta, and it's like what my partner thinks of how much I can get from Ulta or Sephora for like $100. It's like this huge like shopping basket, right?
It's like
And
two
then
things.
it's like two or three things, and it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah. And they're
that's
small.
it.
They're little packages. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
But you don't have to go with expensive stuff. There's
Mhm,
a lot of affordable skincare and makeup nowadays that it's
mhm.
like it does a good decent job.
Yeah.
So you don't have to buy $50 stuff.
Yeah.
You
Mon,
can
you know
do
what? I feel like
$12.
you're the one that actually taught me this. Mon is such a wonderful like makeup person. Like her, like when you see her, when you see her here, you see her in person, her makeup is so flawless and it stays on. And I don't know how
Oh.
to do it. There was one time several years ago when I literally made her sit with me at my house and tell me, like, show me every step of her routine. And I wrote it down. I have like a note in my iPhone that shows like step by step, and I've been following it ever since. But you're the one that kind of taught me that I don't need really expensive makeup to like get like, like drugstore brands are just fine, because I never really did that before, or I wasn't really familiar with makeup to begin with, like before I met you. So I'm super grateful for you for teaching me like the ropes. And I think there's just a couple brands that maybe we can shout out that are, I think, that are more like mid or lower price brands that I think work really, really great. What is it? NYX? Is that what it
Hmm.
is? Okay. Like
NYX
I used to just say
Cosmetics.
like NYX, but I guess it's
Yeah,
NYX
yeah.
Cosmetics. Their concealer, their like
Hmm.
foundation, they call it butter or butter, I think.
Oh,
It's like a
butter.
coverage. Yeah. It's really, I'm wearing, literally wearing it like right now. I think that's really, really good. But I just want to say, like, I went to this, like I went to a wedding over the holidays, and the makeup artist, dude, the makeup state, like I had to use like literally 5 wipes. It was amazing. But to get it off, like it freaking
It's heavy
stuck.
duty stuff.
Heavy duty, but it was
Hmm.
YSL foundation, 24-hour, blah, blah, blah. And it's like $80 for like, the
No.
foundation. And I'd love to have that, but it's just, and also to like, it's probably very heavy on your skin, like to
Yeah.
wear every day. So you don't need anything like that. But there's some really good stuff. Mon, what are like some of the brands that you like that are just like not crazy priced?
One of my favorite brands, especially for like loose face powder, is actually Wet and Wild. It sounds funny for those who
Ooh,
don't know the brand, but it's called
that's
Wet
like
and
a
Wild.
it's that's a 90s brand. I remember
Yeah.
that from when I was growing up. Like
Yeah,
that was a thing.
it's a drugstore brand for
Mhm.
sure.
Mhm.
You can find it at like your local
Target?
Raley's, Target,
Mhm.
literally at like grocery stores or whatever. But
Mhm.
like a lot of their products are like maybe $8 or
Mhm.
lower or whatever. And I always stock up and I still
Writing this down.
religiously use like Wet and Wild like translucent powder. And I use that for like all over my face. And I
Mhm.
think it's like a really good
Is it a
setting
setting
powder
powder?
on. Hmm.
Okay. I'm in my
It's a setting
notes, my Monica
powder,
notes.
and I think like a good affordable brand too that has been doing a lot of dupes lately,
Mhm.
or lately like they've been doing a lot of reputable dupes is Elf
Yeah.
Cosmetics,
Yeah.
Eyes Lips Face Cosmetics,
Mhm.
and I've been exposed to that brand since they started when they had like things that were literally like $1, $2, $3 things.
Holy crap.
They don't really do those as much anymore,
Mhm.
but they still
It's
have
still, yeah.
comparable stuff
Right, right.
that's much cheaper. Like for instance, I actually have it here. It's that Summer Friday lip balm that like
Mhm.
people love,
Mhm.
and there's so many different shades and flavors and whatever. Like Elf just came out with like their own version of it. Now they're not
Mhm.
saying like it's like a dupe or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's also just like a very similar tinted lip balm that instead of your $20, $22 Summer Fridays, you could
It's
get
insane.
like a similar thing for like $8 or $9
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I get it. You want to buy it and the reputable brand, but
Right,
I
right.
mean, I don't want to spend.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure we don't wanna spend that kind of money. So,
So,
Mon, for me, the one that I could say is comparative to like me trying to just like save more is like, remember before how I would use the brand Ilia? So
mhm,
Ilia is like a foundation concealer. Like I got like really into them because I saw they basically just did a tutorial on their Instagram where they just showed all the products this woman used and it was amazing. But like
Mm-hmm.
one bottle of their foundation is like $45 now. And then their concealer, I mean, it's great product. Their
Yeah.
concealer is like, I think $30. And but
Mm-hmm.
now, like if you start using like other brands like NYX, it's like the one that I use day to day. Like I feel like I have makeup for like day to day, and then I have like better
Sure.
makeup for like
Yeah.
events or whatever. Like NYX, their foundation is like $12, right? Or like
Mm-hmm.
12 to $15, and then the concealer is like $12. So this, like a day to day type of thing. If it's not like ruining your skin, it's not like,
Yes.
causing you to break out or whatever. It's probably like very similar. I'm sure it's all fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I
Yeah.
mean, again, do whatever you feel like you're comfortable with and what you
Hmm.
prefer.
Yeah.
It's just like some ways that you could save a little penny here and there is,
Hmm.
don't be afraid of the drugstore stuff. It's not
Yeah.
just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's bad for you or like bad
Exactly.
performing.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I have one other thing that I want to add to this, and I think you
Okay.
and I can both kind of relate to this is Japanese skincare products,
Oh
which
yeah.
Mon like, recently went to Japan, and her and I kind of like obsessed over like certain things that we wanted to try. And she was kind enough to like bring some back to me. And also Noah went. I didn't show you my haul, but like he
Oh,
actually got me everything that I asked for, and I asked
oh
for a
yay.
lot of stuff. For example, like my face wash, like I used to use $25 Clinique face wash just to like wash my face every day. And I guess like that is pretty expensive for face wash, where you can get really good Japanese face wash for like under $5 per
Mm-hmm.
bottle, or even like sunblock. Like I used to use like Supergoop, which is like $30 for like,
Mm-hmm.
now I'm using the Japanese like Biore, or even the Anissa, which is I think like part of like Shiseido. So just like stuff like that. Like I had Noah like stock me up on like a bunch of stuff that will last till one of us goes to Japan again,
Yeah.
I think. And even
Mm-hmm.
like my eye cream, as we know, eye cream is super expensive, but I feel like it's also
Mm-hmm.
essential, prevent like crow's feet and stuff like that. Like I
Mm-hmm.
used to use a brand where it was $60 for like a little tiny like tube, and
Oh
I
my
got
gosh.
some from Japan, and I just kind of feel like, Japanese women, like their skin is crazy. It's so Japanese, Korean women, you see their skin's like glass. So I'm like, it can't be bad, right?
I
Yeah.
mean, they probably have some genetics that helps them in that
Yes.
area
Yeah.
too. But I would say that yeah, they have really good products for a more affordable price.
Hmm.
Overseas. I don't know how it's gonna be like now after like tariffs and whatever,
Yes, that's
but
true.
the
Yeah.
cheaper place to get it is if you could buy a ticket and go over
And go to
there.
Japan. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you're really saving money, but if you're going there
No.
anyway, or if you have someone that's going and
If you
kind
happen to
enough
be
like
there,
Mon, yeah, to
stock
bring
up.
it back, it's
Yeah.
it's very inexpensive, and it's small, right? So it's not like a
Hmm.
huge ask or whatever. It's not like I'm asking for like shoes or whatever. I think it was like, I'm so grateful Noah brought me back like so many things that I
Yay.
asked for. For me, one of the things that I'm doing to save money on skincare, because I feel like it's kind of non-negotiable. Like you need to wash your face, right? You need to
Hmm.
moisturize. You need to do
Not
all that
everyone
stuff.
does. I highly recommend you do at
Yes,
least
yeah.
once a day.
Yes, yes. You really should. You really should.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I mean, you don't have to again do luxury stuff. There's like
Mhm.
some decent drugstore versions. Yeah, if you can swing it, get
Mhm.
overseas for a good bang for your buck.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, there's like affordable skincare brands. Like I would say that, avoid the what's it called? That apricot St. Ives scrub.
Oh, St.
Don't get
Ives.
don't do
Why
it.
you don't
That's
like that?
so
I've never used
abrasive.
it.
It's so abrasive
Really?
for your face.
Okay.
Like it's too harsh for your face. But there's other things from like BRA in America that's
Mhm.
still decently affordable.
Mhm.
Neutrogena is good.
Mon, you know
I
what's
mean,
really popular for my cousins in the Philippines ask me to
mhm.
bring this to them is Cetaphil. Is that how you pronounce
Yes,
it? Cetaphil,
yeah,
Cetaphil, or whatever.
Cetaphil.
Apparently, it's a little bit more expensive in the Philippines, and they sell it like at Costco. It's not that cheap, but I feel like it's not like buying like a department store brand of like
Right.
skincare stuff. But a lot of my family uses that face wash and moisturizer. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you're going for like basic stuff, basic needs, like, yeah, you don't need to go all out with like name brand luxury stuff.
Mhm.
It's totally affordable. You don't have to like spend all that money for it. Yeah, it's expensive being a woman apparently.
It's expensive just living. Like I have to buy Ab's face wash all the time because otherwise he'll might use the say knives or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, he is kind of picky with it because I bought the whipped Japanese one, right? So that's the one you brought me back some. I've been using that and loving it, but I think he said for his it's a little it dries out his skin. So and again, that's one thing, right? Everyone's different. Like
Sure. Yeah.
everyone's skin reacts differently. So he's still using the fancy Clinique one. I don't know who's paying for that, but
It's like good luck. Refill it if you want.
yeah, but he also uses really generic facial lotion, which bothers me because it's like,
That's why it's dry.
yeah, that's why I don't blame the face wash. But I like that's one thing for me. Like I told you this a long time ago, but like I have to use the specific moisturizer, which is still a splurge, but I feel like it's worth it. It's the Clinique, like just Clinique moisturizer. It's not too bad. It's like $30 for a bottle, lasts a couple months or whatever. It's their yellow moisturizing thing, but it's like nostalgic for me because it's what my mom used and I feel like she's aged really well. So I'm like hanging on to like whatever that she uses,
Hmm.
but that's something that I really like to use. But yeah, again, everyone's skin is different. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and we talk about more like women and like their changing habits, but honestly, there's a lot of things that like men and women can do to like
Hmm.
change their spending habits to save a little bit of money. And I think a popular one aside from skincare, beauty stuff, is the topic of food. A topic that a lot of people, especially during like COVID, is people were very big fans of DoorDash and Uber Eats
Hmm.
and all of that stuff. And I thought it was interesting in the segment that we watched is, they were saying like, oh, we wanted to support people who are trying to do the DoorDash thing or the Uber
Right.
Eats
It was
thing.
like
And
support.
that
Yeah. Like
that
support
was very
local. Yeah.
interesting. Honestly, that's an area doing DoorDash and Uber Eats is like people don't want to do it in general because it's so much more expensive than like
Hmm.
getting the food yourself or eating
Right.
out,
Right.
because not only are you paying for the little upcharge of getting it delivered, but you also have to pay or tip the person who's delivering the. And I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting because it's like, yeah, you want to support people, but you could also support the people who are serving the food in the first place. And I
I
know
know.
tipping culture is always like crazy out here,
Yeah,
and I
that's a
think that
whole topic
also
that people are, really up. I feel like we talk
very
about this a
passionate.
lot. Yeah, with Jay. Jay is very passionate about this, but it's
Yeah.
just it's like it's gotten out of hand. Like I 100% agree on those tipping machines. Like some of them start at like 20% tip. They don't even let you go like lower them, but that's another I think another episode. But yes, like during COVID, it was a whole movement about like supporting small businesses, like the smaller restaurants that like, needed the help and all that kind of stuff. Like I'll tell you, like Av is super frugal. We never did DoorDash and like Uber Eats.
Hmm.
Like he'll place an order and he'll go pick it up. Like he doesn't care.
Hmm.
Like he won't pay the money for that. And you know how like there's those memes that are just like your DoorDash order is $10 and the delivery and all the fees is like more than your
Hmm.
actual order.
Yeah.
Unless you have a
It
Dash Pass, I guess.
Yeah, we have a Dash Pass because of like our credit card. It gives us like a monthly thing. So we use that monthly credit towards the
Mhm.
fees. But still, it just costs a lot more. Because I'm sure like the restaurants working with DoorDash or whatever, they have like a deal like if you go through the service, you have to pay more. So people upcharge versus actually
Yeah.
in person.
Mhm.
But, to even dial it back even more to save more money, not even doing DoorDash or Uber Eats is just cooking your food at home.
Yep.
Now, I'm not like a master chef or anything, but we have definitely been trying to cook more at home. And yes, it saves money, but I don't know if I'm just bad at like food planning, but we have these big bright ideas of like, oh, we're gonna make this meal and we're gonna make this meal on Tuesday and this
Mhm.
one on Wednesday. We're gonna meal prep. And then, we just kind of get in over our heads, and before you know it, the produce that we were supposed to use for
Has
these
gone
meals
bad.
has
Yeah.
gone bad. So now that's just money down the drain. I might
Mhm.
as well have bought Wingstop.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you have to it's definitely like you have to think it through. We are big like I watch like do you know who Dave Ramsey is? Like that
Mhm,
guy on I don't know if he's on YouTube or whatever, but he has someone it's his daughter that
mhm,
she's on his show and she gives financial advice and all that kind of stuff. Like she said that's the number one thing if you're trying to cut costs in your household, you should not eat out and just try and just cook. Like it's a huge
mhm,
expense. And I honestly, like for us, like we're a family of two, both of us, right? We're families
mhm,
of two, right?
mhm,
Unless Noah's with us, it's another person. But like
mhm,
my brother and Winnie, my sister-in-law Winnie, they have big families, or like my cousin who has like 3 kids. Dude, when they go, they tell me like when they go out to eat, like even if it's fast food or like Starbucks or whatever, $60, $50, like just for them to get coffees and pastries or like
mhm.
getting fast food. Where I remember when I was a kid, like it was like a meal at McDonald's was like $5 or less, right? And now it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
12,
I miss
13
those
bucks.
days.
Yes. So it's just like it's so expensive for a family of 4 to go out
Yeah.
and like have a meal out. Like I can't even imagine because for me there's only 2 of us and it's not too bad and we're pretty conscious and we cook like I've always had this thing where I really don't cook on the weekends. Like those are the days when I'm like, let's just buy or, get takeout or like go out or whatever. But during the week, we're pretty strict about cooking and also bringing food to work, like bring baon
Mhm,
for lunch. Like I'll cook enough. And Ab's getting better at it because he doesn't like leftovers. I think we talk about this all
mhm,
the time. He doesn't like
mhm,
leftovers, but that's definitely like a big expenses. And groceries themselves are like really expensive now too, right?
mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I guess depending on how you tackle it, it's like you can save money, but
Mhm.
plan carefully so you don't throw the money down the
Yes.
drain.
Yeah, yeah. And also, like, if say you're a single person and it is cheaper for you to like go to fast food or whatever, like
True.
also like think of like the healthiness of that. Like it's probably
Yeah.
like not as healthy to eat that every day, but there are really good prepared meals like at Trader Joe's, I feel like that are probably
Mhm,
just as comparable price wise, if not cheaper. I don't know, maybe a little healthier. I don't really know like the science or anything like that. But what we've been trying to do, I think I told you this is like we're stocking up more on meat because we're lucky enough to get a second freezer that was given to
mhm,
us. So that's kind of a
mhm,
game changer. So we like
mhm,
buy meat for the month at like Costco. So it's like in bulk. And then every week I'll go and just buy a little bit of like vegetables and like the perishables so they don't go bad because I hate that. We have so much stuff that goes bad in the fridge.
mhm.
It's like, oh,
Don't
it's
look
so
at our
annoying.
fridge.
Yeah, yeah, it's too like the what is that? Like the herbs that you buy and like the
Yeah,
vegetables and all that stuff. So you really have to like think it through. But yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely. I know you can do. I've heard of people who, they meal prep, right, for the week.
Hmm.
And I like the idea of, making something at the beginning of the week in enough portions so you don't have to think about
Hmm.
anything really throughout the week. Um, some people said it's for their household or for their situation, it's more cost effective to just do like a catered version of like Chipotle. Like
Yes, yeah, yeah.
they
I've
do a
seen this.
Chipotle thing and
Hmm.
they give you a tray of meat, they give you a
Uh-huh.
tray of veggies, they give you the tortillas or whatever you ask for. Portion it
Portion it.
out for
Yeah,
like
yeah,
how many different meals throughout the week, and it's
yeah.
like sure it can be close to whatever you do pay for Chipotle, but
Hmm.
it's like now you have the convenience,
Right.
and I
So
would say that
like
maybe Chipotle is not that unhealthy, but
Yeah, it's
you know.
not okay. So here's the thing, like you can get like we've done this, like we've done Chipotle catering, right? For like our
Mm,
book club before. And I want to say like you could get enough portions for like maybe 10. I remember for like 10 people, maybe like 100 to $120, depending on what part of the country you live in. The thing
mhm.
is, so $120, like you could easily spend that a week at the grocery store. So
Yeah,
for
a week,
sure, like it
like
helps
a
like
couple
that.
days.
Yes, but like, do you really want to eat that every day? Is my thing, right? And like the
Mhm.
longer the week goes, the I guess unless you're freezing the stuff, like people have different tolerance levels, right?
Sure.
Like we said, like I think Jay and Ab aren't huge fans of leftovers, so probably like a two days is probably like a maximum that they can eat something or whatever. But there's people out there that literally are okay eating the same thing for like a week straight. So it really all depends. But yeah,
Mhm.
Chipotle is a really, really good example of people like meal prepping and ordering like a catering portion.
It saves you time, and you know how like time is also money at the same
Yeah.
time. So it's
Right, right.
like it depends on what, like I said, the your circumstances are. If cooking's not in your forte, and you don't want all the cleanup, or the planning, it's like yeah, you could go that route too.
Hmm.
Just depends on like what your situation calls for. From food, let's talk about clothes, because that's
It's a
apparently
big.
women are
Oh
60%
my
of general
god, I have
merchandise.
not bought anything this year clothes-wise. It's almost gonna kill me at this point.
Drawl.
Sometimes, but then I have so you have so much, I talked to my cousin about this and she's like, "What the like I cleaned out my closet and there's so much stuff with
Mm.
tags." Like, like
Ugh,
you
I
don't
hate
like
that feeling.
yeah, yeah. So I did this whole thing like definitely like in this whole mindset of like trying to save and just being prepared. And like I said, like this year, like I'm gonna try and do like a no spend clothes year. I don't really think I've really bought anything, but I think
Mm.
in preparation this year, like last year, I bought like a lot of stuff. But I do have, how they say like a woman's closet, they really only wear like 20% of, which is
I
true.
can
I wear
vouch
the
for
same
that.
things, like the same short, the same pants, the same set of t-shirts, the same jackets or whatever. And then you're in your pajamas for the rest of the time. So it's really unnecessary. I remember before I would be like a new like now spring. Oh, I want this like nice spring,
Sure.
blah blah blah. And I'm just really trying not to do that. And so far, like we're already like in almost in May, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I've purchased anything substantial,
Woohoo.
clothing wise, which I'm really excited about. But what about you,
Yeah.
Mon?
Yeah, the same thing. Like I've never been the one to like want to invest in clothes. I feel like I my closet is also that prime example of I only wear like a quarter of it, and it pains me to see like something that is just collecting dust and like the tag is still hanging on it, and I'm like,
Yes, yeah.
I
Ugh, I hate
obviously
that.
don't want to wear it if it's still there and it's been like a year.
Yeah.
And our bodies change, and it's kind of like, well, I don't even know if that's gonna fit me anymore. But am I
True.
gonna hold on to it until
Yeah.
I lose the weight or whatever? I don't know. I'll just buy it later on when like things don't fit anymore. But it's like it's taking up space. I could be putting something else there. I don't know. Like it's less mental load for me to like have to choose between like so many pieces of clothing. I like the
Yeah,
idea of
yeah.
style and whatever, but realistically, when I see something that's been hanging there for an extended amount of time, it's like time to donate.
Yeah, they say there's that whole thing, right? Like if you haven't worn it in a year, you really like should consider like Marie Kondo type. Remember
Yeah.
how it was like if you have it doesn't bring you joy or whatever, you should probably consider like donating it and maybe it will bring someone else joy type of thing. But
Did you hear
that
about Marie Kondo though?
know
Like she
what? Is
doesn't
she
even
messy and
follow.
real? She's like
She doesn't
messy.
follow that anymore.
Oh
She said,
wow.
"I've realized that I can't apply that to like everything."
Well, like, which is also like more realistic. Doesn't she have like two kids or what? It's hard to
Yeah.
like be that, when you have like a lot
Yeah.
going on. But in my closet, I was just thinking like, I really went through like a flannel phase. all these like
I love
flannel like
flannel.
button ups that I like never wear. There's like a whole
Yeah.
section of those. I definitely
Yeah.
have a phase of like denim button ups, like just
Yes.
like all kinds of stuff. There's a concert t-shirt like section, but just
Okay.
like, I really like, now summer's coming again and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm just
Mhm.
gonna look to see what I have. If I have to just buy those inexpensive t-shirts just to like get the that's fine, but like I don't really feel like I need a ton of stuff where before I would like kind of buy for the season. Why? Like I probably have the same stuff from last year that I can still wear,
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you do have the urge to shop, have you ever tried shopping secondhand?
So this is something I'm interested in, Noah. As we all know, right? Like the youths, as we call them, are into this, right? Thrifting is a huge thing for younger generations, and I've
Mm-hmm.
taken Noah thrifting. And the last time we went, I actually picked up like two things for myself that I
Hmm.
cannot believe how cheap. Like for like a corduroy jacket, I think I spent like $6, and like a t-shirt was like $2. So yeah, I'm totally not against buying secondhand. I think I don't know where to go, or like
Yeah.
I'm not really
Same.
familiar with where to thrift. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's right now like to save money and it's sustainable and all that kind of stuff. Like I'm not grossed out by it. Like you could wash it, whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How about you?
I think that's what deterred me before is like so I was like, oh, this is previously worn by someone else, and I
Hmm.
have to. Uh, I'm gonna try it on. Obviously, I'm gonna wash it, but it's just
Hmm.
like the idea of like this was on somebody else's body before
Yeah,
mine.
it's definitely something like you have to get over, I guess, or accept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen like those people who go to like Goodwill and they have like the bins and people are like, I highly recommend wearing like gloves when you're digging through the bins.
Oh God, I
And
didn't even
I'm
know
like,
that. Yeah,
mm,
yeah. Well, you're a microbiologist, so I feel
yeah,
like your
I
concerns
get
are
it. You wash it
valid.
and it should be good or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not like the establishments, the thrift shops themselves, like they're not gonna take in like crappy stuff.
Let's
Like they still
hope.
want
Yeah.
decent
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
obviously.
I feel
Um,
like I remember the last time Noah and I went thrifting, he bought like a trench coat. I
mm,
freaking threw that. I never go with him. Like he always does it. So
uh,
God knows what he does with the clothes that he gets. But like when we got to the house, I literally threw everything in the wash. Like as soon as we got
yes,
home.
absolutely. It's not touching anything else but
Yep.
the inside of a
Yep.
laundry machine.
Exactly. But no, I'm kind of interested in it and I kind of want to go soon
We are
because maybe I need to
too. We should
like
go. We should find
let's go.
something.
Let's go.
I
I
think
feel
that would
like
be
it
fun.
maybe it's like an itch that needs to be scratched at this point
Mm.
by like not going shopping. But I know like here in Sacramento, there's this really popular one called Freestyle
Ooh,
clothing. So maybe we could go there one time.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a date, shopping date. But
Yeah.
that kind of defeats the purpose of like the whole saving money. But
Yeah.
I guess something that was previously worn is probably a little cheaper than what it was sold at
Yes. Yeah.
retail.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
and they were saying like it helps the environment,
Hmm.
and things that were only worn once now have like a new life in some
Yes.
cases,
Yeah.
wardrobe or something.
Definitely.
So definitely interested in
All that
trying
good
that.
stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
So, in connection to that, the last thing that we have
yeah.
on here, learning how to sew. So, have you gotten
Oh.
anything hemmed lately? It's so
No.
expensive. Holy crap.
Um.
Like a pair of like before, like, like years ago, like I would take a bunch of pants to like the dry cleaner and they would be like $7 each and it wasn't a big thing. But now it
Mhm.
costs as much as your pants to like get stuff, as much as you paid for them to like get it done. So it was funny when I went to the Philippines, my cousin here brought a bunch of her pants with her to get hemmed in the Philippines.
It's not
But
to wear; it's to get hemmed.
yes, yeah, to get hemmed because it's so much cheaper to do there. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot of people are learning how to sew and repair their own clothes and make their own clothes and all of that kind of
That
stuff.
might be the next like DIY thing that I'm gonna try
Hmm.
and look into. Because honestly, I've never really tried to get something hemmed myself. Like usually, it's been forced by like my mom or whatever to like
Hmm.
get them hemmed. But if I can help it, I'm just like, it's good enough, and I'm just gonna be like, things just drag it on the floor or
Hold
long
it.
arms or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like. I don't want to spend extra
I
money
hate it. Yeah.
to alter the thing that I just bought. But I
Yes,
get
for
it. It
sure.
does benefit and it flatters your body more if you do get it tailored to your
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
But
And then
I don't know.
some
I
of the
think Jay
things,
is actually more into the whole tailoring thing
mhm,
for especially like his jeans or his pants and stuff.
like some of the things you can't avoid, like for example, like if you buy a dress that you're going to wear to a special event, 6 inches longer than you, like unless you want to train, you're going to have to get
I
it
I
altered,
would
right?
avoid it. I would not buy the dress.
So for me, what I did, so this is a special tip, but it's not really like it's not a good thing. If you have a Nordstrom card, if you have a Nordstrom card,
Ooh.
a credit card, Nordstrom will alter your stuff for
Hmm.
free. So
Ah.
I don't know if that's, so that's what I did with this particular dress, and it wasn't even from Nordstrom, but I took it and
Okay.
they altered it for me. That's the thing, but like I had no choice. Like I had to get it altered. But yes, I hate paying for alterations. Like I'll avoid it at all costs at this point. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's a lot of people are doing.
you're gonna learn to sew,
Yes.
and then we'll just pay you a couple bucks.
Yes. Or Winnie's daughter Lauren is learned, I know she has a sewing machine, so
Oh,
I think that
cool.
that's one thing we're trying to encourage her to do.
Yeah,
And
it would
like,
be
yeah,
nice to have someone in the family who
yes.
can like
Yes.
hem
And
stuff.
I think our good friend Carissa from book club, I
Hmm.
think she also sews. So I just
Awesome.
thought of that because I need something sewed and I don't know how to do it and I don't want to take it. So I might hit up
Carissa
Carissa.
Lauren.
Yes, yes. Coffee for a hemline or something like that. That might be good.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. It's crazy out there. The world's expensive, and
Oh
um,
God.
the whole de-influencing thing, and there's a whole new wave of underconsumption. It's
Mhm.
just funny because it's like I've you said you've been seeing a lot of content of people like saving money and ways to do that. I don't know what my algorithm is showing me. They show me that sometimes, but they also show me that like places like Ulta Beauty, they just had like a
I
beauty
saw
convention
that.
called
Where was
Ulta Beauty World.
that?
It wasn't this time, it was in Texas. It was in Ontario. Oh, I
Like
think it
there's
was
no
in
way we could have
Texas.
gone. I saw
Um,
people coming out with like
bags and
bags
bags
and like luggage. It was all
of free
free. Were
stuff.
they all like giveaways?
Yeah, all the brands there, they're all present from Ulta Beauty, and they were just giving away full size things. And
Oh my
I
God.
think the base ticket was like $160. And, we were just saying that like $160 at Ulta is like
Buys you
five
nothing.
products.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But
And they
people
were
came out
coming
of it.
out. Yeah. I
Hmm.
saw like they're saying that like these women were smart because they brought like Hulkins, like the thing,
Yes.
some people brought luggage like that
Yep.
they wheeled around, which is super smart. But I was like, that is so cool. But I also feel like it's cool, but like, how like when you get a lot of stuff, like what stuff do you
Hmm.
really use?
Right,
Right? Like,
exactly.
how all
It's
those
like,
influencers get all those like, what do they call them? Like brand gifts and all that stuff. And they just like
hmm.
give them away to people. But I mean, whatever, it's free. You could gift it to other people, right?
Right, yeah. And it's like, ooh, I want to go, but that's also probably like a lot of stuff that I'm not going to
Yeah.
use or I
Yeah.
won't be able to use in the shelf life that they have it
Yeah.
in. It's
If they
probably going to
ever
go
have
bad
one
by the
in,
time.
yeah, if they ever have one in California, we
The
should,
next
it'll be
one is
like,
in Orlando in next
oh,
year. And I was like, oh yeah, if it ever comes back to somewhere in
the West
California,
Coast. Yeah.
maybe I want to go cuz
Yeah.
yeah, you spend money to go there
Hmm.
and then stay a night there and
Yeah.
then the ticket and it's like did you really like save money to
Yeah.
get all this
Yeah.
stuff?
It's probably more of like an experience on top of
Yes,
like getting all the
which
stuff.
I want to
So
do still, but
yeah.
maybe when it's more local.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yours smarter spending, me ooh free stuff.
Free. That's just like us, the cheaper stuff in Japan, but you have to
Yeah,
fly there and stay there. So
yeah, I'm a sucker for like gift with purchases. It's like, oh, spend on $75 to get this
yeah,
free
yeah,
product. I'm like, okay.
yeah. You got me.
Well, thank you for everyone who has listened to this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell us, are there any other like spending habits that you've changed to like be a little bit more mindful and save a few pennies here and there? Not like your typical like, oh yeah, the I'm gonna save, I'm gonna cook at home. Like I want to hear like outrageous ones. What did you cut to save some money?
Yes, yes, definitely. All right, you guys, don't forget to follow, rate, and subscribe to our podcast. We're on IG, Threads, YouTube.
Send us an OA text message. Let us know what you'd like, what you thought of this episode. Huge shout out again to our fan favorite, JJB.
Hey,
Beep, beep, boop,
JJ.
boop. He did send us a couple of OA text messages. Some of our last episodes. One of our more recent one is the one what's in our bags. So I appreciate you listening to that
Oh,
one, even though
thank
it's more
you.
about.
Yes, yeah. Something that
He
I don't know that
says,
you would do. Yeah.
yeah. He says, I'm not carrying it around in a bag, but I must make sure I have lip balm on me at all times. Much
Yes.
like Anna.
Yes. Yeah. That's a thing.
He said, if not, I feel naked. With that said, it gives me the heebie jeebies. I don't know why I struggled to say that word. Heebie jeebies. To wear pants or shorts without pockets. Because I'd have no place to keep my lip balm.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
that's fair. Because if you're not wearing a bag, like
Yeah.
the girl is,
Yeah. You
yeah, where
need
do you
like
keep
those
all your
pockets.
stuff?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. No, I'm with you on the lip balm. I have a lip balm at my desk, in the kitchen, in my office at
Everywhere.
work,
I
in the
got
car.
one.
Yeah, everywhere. I
They're
get you,
everywhere.
JJ. Thank you so much for listening. We
Thank
love
you.
you.
Love you. But anyway, until next time, friends.
Stay OA in the
In the
best
best
way.
way.
Bye.
Bye.
Save money.
Oh, save money when you can.
Yeah, cook dinner.
How many recessions did we go through?
I know.
I think I saw somewhere where they said that millennials have gone. This is like their third recession.
Third one.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yes.
Anyway,
Fun
save
times.
money.
Save money, cook dinner, bring bot one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.